A trade war is brewing as backlash continues over President Trump's tariffs. On Wednesday, the president announced reciprocal tariffs on about 90 countries. He held up a chart showing all of the tariffs, including China, who's facing 34% tariffs. Today, China hit back with a 34% tariff on all U.S. goods. So we're seeing the back and forth. Here to tell us about what this could mean, how it could pan out, we have the Westminster College of School of Business Chair, Dr. Bob Badowski. Thank you for being right here at 5.
Thank you.
Yeah, we talk often on the political panel, you and I. In fact, we talked specifically about the tariffs a while back. And I'm wondering, now that you see all the announcements that have been made by the president, do you think that this will be effective? And could this change trade behavior among other countries with the U.S.?
I think it's going to change behaviors, and I think we're starting to see some of those things happening right now. I know there's some auto manufacturers who are shutting down processes in Mexico because we're adding an additional 25% tariff there. So I'm not sure how it's all going to shake out. I think initially this was supposed to be mostly a scare tactic, and I think the president thought that we were, countries were going to kowtow to what our demands were. But it seems like some folks are fighting back, especially China.
Manufacturing is one of the top drivers here in Northeast Ohio. As you know, that's what the Valley runs on in a lot of ways. They're, the skilled labor jobs. Do you think that the tariffs will lead to more job growth here in the Mahoning Valley in Western Pennsylvania as a result?
I think ultimately that was the impetus for them, to make it more difficult to get products from other places and to, kind of stimulate manufacturing in the United States. Now that's a long game because you can't just start manufacturing things. It's a process. You've got to get things ready to go. So ultimately, it probably will be good for manufacturing and things like that. But right now, I think we're paying the price.
We've often reported, I know in my reporting repertoire, I've been talking a lot about steel dumping over the past decade or so, if not longer. Do you think that this could also help level that playing field once and for all, because they can't go through other countries to get around those loops?
Yeah, I definitely think so, because like you said, people were kind of going through Canada or Mexico or wherever to get through the loops, and it's much harder now. So either we produce it ourselves or we're going to have to kind of eat the extra cost that goes along with it. So I think it's more of a let's have a little bit of pain right now in the economic world, and then maybe that'll make things better through manufacturing.
How long is long enough or too long for certain sectors? Do you think maybe one sector over another might not be able to take on this burden for an extended period of time?
It does depend on the sector, and it's, I know people are running out and trying to buy cars, and the projection for cars is going to be $6,000 to $7,000 extra for a car. So something eventually has got to give. So either we're going to have to lower tariffs to get more products in, at least for a short period of time until we can ramp up facilities and things like that, or another country is going to have to give in or meet somewhere in the middle, so that we can all do business together and kind of get back to normal.
Do you think consumers will hold back, and how long do you think they can hang on with the tariffs in place, especially for things where there's, not necessarily an urgent need for something like apparel, unless you've grown out of clothes? Do you think consumers will go along with this?
Well, I think you almost have to, with limited budgets and things like that. I think we're going to go back to kind of maybe the COVID times or pre-COVID times when you just have what you have, where there were shortages of things and you just kind of had to deal with them. Unfortunately, inflation was up and it already bumped things up already, and now it's bumping things up again. So, as wages kind of stagnate and as prices go up, people have to make choices, and those kinds of things that are more of like a want than a need are probably going to suffer.
Okay. I really appreciate your insight here, Dr. Badowski. As always, we like to talk tariffs with you, so we'll see you again on the panel here in the near future, but thank you for joining us here at 5.
Thank you. Have a good day.